Hey, good morning to you. My name is Jeffrey, and I want to talk a little this morning about a topic that has come up the last 2 or 3 weeks via emails, texts. I've gotten a couple of phone calls even from founders that both on my team and off my team in the U.S., out of the U.S. Most of them are out of the U.S. And the topic is, what is going on really with the paradigm shift that we talk about? What is that? Because there's seemingly a shift in the way things are done that people are a little confused about. So I wanted to talk about that, and I especially wanted to talk about leadership and leadership going forward and the leadership council. So obviously, I'm not one to sit and be a talking head. I don't really feel comfortable just sitting here and spouting things out to you. So I hope that you enjoy this. I hope that you have a good time with it and that it helps you. And I certainly look forward to everything that we're going to be doing in the future. Thank you for listening.
Hello again, and I hope you are having a wonderfully fulfilling experience as we start navigating through some very exciting times here at Onpassive. And in particular, I'm referring to our approach to the last phase of our pre-launch and the beta campaign that we're going to be starting here in the next couple of weeks. That's just my opinion. Good morning. My name's Jeffrey, and I'd like to take a few minutes here, probably several, 10, 12 minutes, to talk about support for Onpassive, Go-Founders, and the Leadership Council. Several months ago, everybody knows or should know that Onpassive had christened an entity called the Leadership Council. Its charter members, the first 6 members of the group, they were appointed by Mr. Mufara, and they served as role models not only to each other, but to the Go-Founders community at large, and helped to establish the functional roles of the Leadership Council. Now, some things we tried worked well, others not so much. But as with Onpassive, and that's certainly the case, there are no real failures. We modify as we go along, and we certainly expected all of that, and we considered that to be a part of the journey, just like we have the journey going with Onpassive. In this way, the council actually became a bridge between Onpassive and the Go-Founders community. Now, as original council members, we had voluntarily accepted the leadership roles that were commensurate with our ability and our passions, the things that we felt like we could do, and we took on roles that we felt that we were best able to do. So the council operated like that for several months. Now, as Onpassive and Go-Founders achieved what seemed to be somewhat of a critical mass, where we were consistently adding about 1,000 new members a day, there was a decision that was made to appoint new leadership the beginning of September this year, 2020. The current members of the council at the time, all 6 of us, were a part of that conversation and part of that decision to have a change in the councilship member. So that was pretty cool. I mean, everybody was working toward that end, and we knew that something like that really needed to be done. Now, to that end, Mr. Mufara, along with a great many founders, both publicly and privately, gave high praise many times to the leadership for our efforts, as well as other leaders, obviously, and most people probably heard that. That was done on webinars, and I'm certain that it was done. It certainly was with me, at any rate. It was done, on personal phone calls and things of that nature. So accordingly, the charter members were replaced by about 30 new members the first week in September, and we moved on to other leadership roles, and we remain active in those according to our personal aspirations. In other words, we're still active in leadership. It's just not as visible, and we are doing what we feel we are best suited to do, and we're taking on those things that we feel comfortable taking on. So life is still good, and we're progressing as it should be. Now, that whole process was outlined here for the benefit of those that did not know that the change in the leadership was planned and that it really was needed. And it didn't catch anybody. Well, it may have caught some founders by surprise, but certainly didn't catch the leadership or the council members by surprise. So having said that, this video is really about Onpassive and the Go Founders community. It's about our mission of lifting humanity and how we're endeavoring to reach that and continually move forward to that. So, I mean, truly, if each of us did one good thing a day, you've heard this before, right? We could really achieve our goals a whole lot faster. But the beauty is, at more than 180,000 founders, the work doesn't have to be by all 180,000 founders, not by everybody. I mean, that's leverage, and we've got it. It just means that a good number of founders doing the work can actually do good work for everybody. Anyway, concerning Onpassive, the Leadership Council, you, me, a host of other active founders and Onpassive staff, we're all doing the bulk of that work, creating a better future for those that may be sitting on a bench, so to speak, or maybe their work isn't that apparent. And it's not because they're lazy or anything like that. It may be that what they're doing just isn't getting seen. Maybe they don't want to be in the limelight. Or it might be because they don't know the things we know. Maybe they don't have the skills or the drive that we've got for any particular area. Perhaps it's because they're simply not equipped to do what we're doing. I mean, as a result, they couldn't have a heart for it like we do. But that's absolutely okay. There's nothing wrong with that at all. And that's part of what we were made for. I mean, I'm not equipped to do what Mr. Fafara is equipped and what he can do, right? But I can do what I'm equipped to do in whatever fashion or whatever way that might be. I can use what I've got to help grow and help support Onpassive and Go Founders as we move into the future here. And we're moving pretty quick right now. And we can each use the tools that were gracefully provided by Onpassive to us to lift up our friends and families in the same way that Onpassive is lifting us up. And this is our work. This is what we're doing. This is the paradigm shift of which we all speak, okay? I mean, hey, the Bible says, don't despise small beginnings, right? I mean, even an oak tree was once a seed, right? I mean, this means we can all do something, even if it's just a single positive thought. So it is with us. I mean, Onpassive is an ever-flowing, evolving growth and understanding that started, as all things do, with the seed. A seed, in our case, it was a thought. Though very oversimplified, it started with a what-if idea that was based on cooperative economics that evolved into a concept. Remember, several months ago, I laid this out in the video about our journey. Well, that concept became a movement that energized the Go Founders and produced a massively disruptive force that will globally redefine the way we work, learn, and communicate online. And that, my friends, is the paradigm shift that is Onpassive, the redefining of the online paradigm, the online model. And that is one of cooperation with mutual benefit of time, money, and freedom. So if you're wondering what is the paradigm shift, it is the redefining of the online paradigm. It's the redefining of the online model, to reflect one that is of cooperation, and it provides mutual benefits of time, money, and freedom for our members, okay? This means it's not about the effort of single individuals or even in groups, okay? The new members of the Leadership Council, they were handpicked by Mr. Mufara, just as the first ones were, right? Just as me and the other 5 as charter members were handpicked, and they are part of the next phase of growth in the leadership for Onpassive. As such, they deserve our respect. And as each of them grows more fully into their respective positions, just like the original 6 did, according to their own leadership abilities, to their skills and their passions, they're going to become the next generation of movers and shakers and, or as Dr. Williams accurately puts it, influencers, okay? So that's the next set of influencers, and they're not going to be the last. Now, they may bring Onpassive through the launch date, but in the next 3 months or in 3 months or the next quarter, it's my understanding that another set of leadership will be lifted and brought out, and they will have an opportunity to enjoy leadership as well. So this is an ongoing thing. This is something that is going to be helping us grow. It's going to help the leadership grow. And as such, as we move into this kind of a mechanism for Onpassive, we all have, just as the Leadership Council has, a responsibility to promote ethical growth according to the founding principles of all that is Onpassive. And to that end, the members of the Leadership Council need the support of the entire community, even as we individually support each other according to our gifts and our strengths. So, give them their due. They're in this position. They're growing into it. They're taking on a lot of things. It's going to require a lot of effort. But you know what? They know as well as we know, it's not about single people. This is about founders, and it's about Go Founders, and it's about Onpassive as a whole. So keep this in mind, okay? As founders, we're all, every one of us, and Mr. Mufar has talked about this, we're going to be honored by history by those that follow us. And that history is going to honor all the performance that has moved us toward our goal, regardless of its level of motivation or energy. All right? Now, we all know we're connected, right? We're connected to each other. And the way I'm seeing this is just like in a stream, right? When one of us comes up against a challenge, the closest ones to us are going to help pull us through or around that challenge and help us keep moving forward. Okay, if we allow ourselves to focus on the little things, which, we get caught up in little things and we lose our focus sometimes, right? And I don't mean crises. I mean, crises pop up and we need to focus on those. But if we focus on the little things, then we're going to individually hamper the spirit of Onpassive, and thereby we're going to lessen the humanity lifting momentum that we have created. So let me put it another way. By focusing on the general positivity and excellence of our mission, we're going to reduce any friction that may otherwise affect our system and our work. So to negate the hampering of Onpassive's heart, which is the intended spirit by which things are done, right? I mean, that's what we're working for, with a good heart, a glad heart, and a heartfelt passions. The Go Founders platform is one that we should aspire to use for building Onpassive and empowering the fruits and momentum of our movement, not for individuals. We want to empower the movement and the whole. And by supporting our leadership, we're going to be able to accomplish that. So I've had people talk to me about leaders that stand out. And yes, leaders do stand out, and we have got some excellent leaders. Make no mistake. All right. Some of these leaders that we see, they may appear as like maybe a swift current. And I'm going to use an analogy here where you talk about streams and rivers, okay, so that you can understand more fully what I'm trying to say. Some leaders appear as a swift current in a stream, right, of Go Founders. And they serve to provide direction and momentum for others. And that is as it should be. And that is in keeping with their gifts. And we laud them. I mean, hey, they're exemplary, and we want to emulate those leaders. However, on a larger scale, the river that is Onpassive, it has a flow that's a lot bigger. It's much grander. And it's noticeably affected only by the combined flow of all it contains. So very few of those lesser currents, which may seem strong, right? Very few of those lesser currents are going to be able to play a significant role in the course that Onpassive is cutting through uncharted territory. They're making a difference, but overall in the course, you're not going to be able to see that difference as much, but they're still important, just like every leader is. Now, this thing is nothing new. I mean, we're in uncharted territory. We're doing stuff, right? I mean, we've all had challenges with charting new territory, whether it's personal or otherwise, right? I mean, we're doing stuff that people, what's that old song say? We're going to do what they say can't be done. I think it was Smokey and the Bandit. That's what it was. Anyway, Hey, top athletes, medical minds back in the day, they did not believe that it was humanly possible to break the 4-minute mile. But let me tell you something. When that British running athlete, Roger Bannister, did it in 1954, baby, that opened the floodgates. People realized it could be done, and more people started doing it. Onpassive is no different. Onpassive is finalizing the creation of a single largest digital automation platform ever. It is literally an abbreviated platform, an abbreviated version of the online space that contains hundreds of tools for business, for learning, and for communication. It has been created for the little guy, okay? This is meaning that it was made for those that are not able to achieve success on their own. And those of us working to build Onpassive and supporting the leadership are working to help those that cannot help themselves. And that is a mission worth going on for, okay? You see, listen. Onpassive is a business based on cooperation and mutual benefit for its members that's daring and it's ambitious. Man alive, it is a movement, it is a culture, and it's powered by AI with heart. That's what it's about. And our end goal, the lifting up of humanity, is clearly expressed in one of my favorite quotes by Mr. Mufara. And I quote, "If you can lift up the millions in humanity in a way and leave that legacy, what better? What an honor to be able to serve and do it." And Mr. Mufara said that earlier this year. So let's keep our eye on the prize. Let's aspire to maintain a global vision that results in greater global good for lifting humanity, right? For raising the human condition. Let's recognize that we're all connected and we're all part of the whole. Let's separate ourselves from any small visions and let's all join around the larger vision. Let's all support our leaders, the leadership roles of the councilship members, and those people that are leading in their own teams. I mean, every single one of us are important, and we all have a contribution to make. We may not be equal in responsibility or effort, but we are equal in position, and we're all equal in the community, the Go Founders community, and we can support our leaders, great and small, to the extent that we can actually exert positive influence and blessing across the entire globe. So that was my message. I hope that it was good. I hope that you enjoyed it. I hope that you've gotten something out of it. And I really, I can't tell you, I am blessed beyond measure to be a part of this with so many phenomenal leaders and phenomenal community members. And I want to thank you for listening to me. I hope that you have a wonderful day, and I'm looking forward to seeing you at the top. I wish blessing upon blessing upon blessing for you and your family, that your life may change for the better, even as you help somebody's life around you change for the better.